My name is Jason Wells, and this is my informative speech on the salary structures of the four major American professional sports: the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, and Major League Baseball. All four leagues want to establish what's called a competitive balance. This keeps all the teams at least competing for a chance to go for a championship year after year, and this is designed to keep fans from becoming alienated if their team is not spending enough money to win, or other owners of other teams are spending too much money and have their teams keep winning. This keeps those fans in smaller markets interested, and it keeps the balance fair throughout the league financially. Now, you might not think you're a sports fan, but if your local team is in the postseason, you might not be able to help but catch that fever. It's definitely what the leagues want. They want to hook those casual fans, or maybe people who aren't fans at all, because the more fans equals more revenue equals higher salary caps, more spending, so on and so forth. As an avid sports enthusiast myself, I've spent a lot of time in my life on this subject and research as of late. Today I'm going to inform you about the salary structures and differences of the four major American sports. And I'm going to start with the NFL. The NFL has what's called a hard salary cap, meaning they set their number and the teams cannot spend over that amount. They have no choice. They have to stay under that number, and the number for 2020 is $198.2 million. They also have to stay above a floor, which means the owners can't just pocket all their money. They have to put a team out there, and they have to spend a minimum amount. In the year 2020, that floor is at 89% of $198.2 million. This cap was introduced in 1993 and implemented in the 1994 football season. Stoudemire, 1998. Next up's the NBA. Their salary cap for 2019 and 2020 is $109.1 million. It's lower than the NFL because they just don't bring in as much revenue as the NFL does. This was the first ever salary cap implemented in any professional sport, and it was implemented in the 1984 and 1985 NBA season. University of Kansas Sports Management Blog, 2020. Now this is a soft cap, which means if the owners have deep pockets, they can go over the cap limit, but then after that amount, they have to spend a certain percentage of the overage to distribute to the rest of the league. They also can't spend lower than 90%, which I don't have up here, but trust me. If they fall under the 90% threshold of the salary floor, then they have to pay the players on their team the amount to raise themselves up to 90%. One way to get around that cap, though, and that floor, is by players exercising their bird rights, which means if a player has been drafted by the team and wants to spend a time with the team long term, that team can sign that player without having to blow up their roster in order to make the cap or make the floor. The NHL's salary cap was established in 2005, and this past season the cap number was $81.5 million. The floor is $60.24 million. This does come with cap hits, as all leagues do, but in this case, in the NHL's case, if a player signs a 2-year contract for $8 million, with the first year being at $5 million and the second year being at $3 million, the cap hits disperse evenly throughout the contract. For those 2 years, the cap hit will only equal $4 million per year. In Major League Baseball, there is no salary cap. Instead, what they use is a luxury tax. So owners can spend to their heart's content. This year, the luxury tax threshold is set at $208 million. In the first year, if you go over that, you have to pay back 20% of the overage to the league. If you go 2 years in a row, 30%, 3 years in a row, 50%. But owners can reset and trade away players if they have to, whatever they have to do to get under that threshold to start anew. The Red Sox recently did this by trading Mookie Betts and David Price to the Dodgers, which freed up about $60 million in salary and got them under the $208 million luxury tax. Rathbun, 2014. But does this work? I mean, the percentage of the teams in the playoffs since 2010, we have the NFL at 94%, leaving out the Buccaneers and the Browns. The NBA at 97%. Sorry, Sacramento. Maybe next year. But the NHL has had every single one of their 31 teams make it to the postseason since 2010, including the Las Vegas Golden Knights. In their first year, they made it all the way to the Stanley Cup final. Major League Baseball comes in at 87% with 4 teams, the Marlins, White Sox, Padres, and Mariners. They haven't seen the postseason in over 10 years. Maybe they will soon. Hopefully the fans of those teams will see it. But overall, 94.5% have made the postseason the past 10 years, and that's mostly because of the salary cap and the luxury tax structures. I would say it works. Anyway, thank you for watching.